Thank you for coming today. Thank you so much.
Hi.
I will adjust.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I was very impressed with your presentation in that group, because I feel like a lot of foreigners need this information. So please explain to us, what do you do exactly?
So I'm working in Tokyo. So I'm working as a pastor, kind of working in church.
Mm-hmm.
So now in Tokyo, there are many foreigners. So one of the ministry is helping foreigners.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. And it's very important as well, because you speak English very well. So it's important for them to have
Thank you.
understanding. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you also help them to find a house or a room when they arrive in Japan, right?
Yeah. So not always successful, because for foreigners, it's very hard to find like a job or a house.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so helping them to find a part-time job or like a house.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, sort of because of COVID situation, it's very hard to find a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, trying our best.
Do you feel like it became even harder? Because I was under the impression that for foreigners, things like working on a convenience store, or maybe working in a local guide or interpreter, that will be possible. Do you feel that COVID changed a lot of those options?
Yeah, maybe kind of sort of, changed, because actually the part-time job, like a restaurant, like that's kind of more kind of strict,
Mm-hmm.
becoming more and more strict.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the workers are decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
So probably owner is not employing so the many foreigners compared to before.
Mm-hmm.
But especially kind of apart from COVID situation, for foreigners, the Japanese ability is more important. If they can speak English well, it's no problem. But always problem is Japanese ability.
If someone arrives in Japan with a everyday level of Japanese, then it's much easier to get a part-time job, right?
Yeah, so now probably kind of there's Japanese level from JLPT N1 to N5. So N5 is lowest, N1 is highest. So in order to full-time job, N2 is needed.
Okay,
N2 or N1,
for a
then
contract.
to get a full-time contract. But part-time job, maybe it depends on the work. Like a factory job, like a cleaning, washing dishes, then probably they don't need to speak Japanese. But N5, N4 is okay, but like a combini, I think N3 is needed.
Because they need to speak with the customers.
Yeah, they have to speak with Japanese.
Okay, so and about finding a house in Japan, my own experience in Japan in previous years was that there are shops and agencies and real estate agencies you can go if you're a foreigner that are different than the ones for the Japanese. Explain a little better about that situation.
Situation is different. But especially kind of for foreigners, maybe, I don't know how to say, and maybe deposit.
Yes.
Shikikin, Leikin, maybe it's not familiar with foreigners. So not just kind of rent, so that we have to pay kind of many kinds of charge. Like a Shikikin, Leikin, like a health, fire insurance, like key exchange. So that's why kind of for not just foreigner, for everyone. So we have to pay in the beginning 4 times or 5 times of the rent. And then, so for foreigners, some owners are not willing to rent for foreigners.
Mm. Do you feel like it's more about the trust? They don't feel like they can trust someone that is in Japan for a short period of time? Would it help to have a contact in Japan or a guarantee in Japan?
So some foreigners, yeah, some owners don't trust kind of foreigners.
Mm.
Or maybe then, so some foreigners I know, kind of, so the contacted owners directly, and so they explain Japanese. They communicate with the Japanese owner so that they can get trust. But if they can speak Japanese well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a major difference for everything.
Yeah. If they speak Japanese well, it's no problem. Yeah.
Yes, that thing about the deposit is actually something that most non-Japanese don't know about Japan, because this is usually a non-refundable deposit. So
Yeah,
that's
non-refundable. Yeah.
that's the thing that is different. Most people don't know about that. But anyway, once they get the house and the job settled in Japan, what is the next step? Like, how is the adjustment from the people you have helped in recent times? How is the adjustment in everyday Japanese life?
So maybe kind of many foreigners saying so many rules and regulations in Japan that may be kind of more troublesome. It's kind of uncomfortable for foreigners, like about kind of trash, throwing away trash. So or like a cleaning. So there are many kind of regulations foreigners don't know. So it may be kind of difficult things to adjust.
One of the things that I try to do in my nonprofit organization is to prepare people to actually live and study in Japan before they go to Japan. So to learn about those rules, to learn about the even the non-written rules, means how society works and what is expected of them, and to learn about that before they get to Japan. And so in a way to minimize the culture shock and get them adjusted.
That's
So
good.
How do you feel like it actually helps? So have you contacted with, I imagine you have contacted with people that were already prepared to move to Japan, and some people that had no clue, had no idea. So how do you see the difference between them in real life?
So if kind of they are kind of prepared to adjust Japanese life, so that's better for Japanese. But it depends on people, like it depends on sort of where they are going. For example, in Tokyo, because there are many foreigners, kind of many Japanese, especially young Japanese people are used to kind of meeting foreigners. It's okay to know kind of difference. But when they go to the countryside, maybe the cultural gap is more kind of bigger than Tokyo.
Yes.
So it depends on where they are going.
Yeah. As you are in Tokyo right now, how do you feel about this rules about COVID, of the foreigners not being able to enter Japan? Because from other people that I know in Tokyo, it's a very divisive point of view. Some people feel safer because the borders are closed, and some people feel like, well, we need to open them again because we need the foreigners for the jobs and for the universities. How do you feel about that? How is the general opinion around you?
But actually, I'm hoping that sort of more foreigners are coming to Japan. But thankfully, probably so from March, kind of border kind of opens more than kind of before, I think. But now, kind of students, kind of businessmen can enter Japan. But anyway,
up to
the opinions are
5,000
divided. Yeah, I think some people kind of want to welcome more foreigners, but other people don't want to kind of welcome. But before last year, kind of the end of last year, kind of COVID cases are decreasing. it's very low. So that's why, so when Omicron variant, so they came to Japan, so the people are afraid. And so that many people don't want foreigner to come to Japan. The people thought kind of foreigners will bring so the more kind of different variants. But now Omicron variants are already spreading all over Japan. It's no difference whether foreigners are coming or not. Already kind of new variants are spreading. So I don't care about it, but not sure some people caring about and afraid. Yeah.
One of the things that bring to the surface in recent times because of COVID was the issue of health services in Japan, because Japan has a very different health service system. It's not the same as the national health service, for instance, as in most European countries. So when someone goes to Japan as a student or as a worker, they need to apply for the Japanese health system in order to have care in hospitals and clinics. So how is that process? Can you explain a little bit about that?
I think so that everyone has to kind of join the national health insurance. I think it's good system because when we go to hospital, so when we kind of buy a drug like medicines, so we have to pay only 30%. So 70% the government pay, kind of the 70% from insurance, national health insurance. So that's what everyone has to pay. So it depends on kind of how much income they make. But anyway, so the people have to pay kind of every month, like 10,000 yen, like that. Yeah.
Okay, so in euros, it's about 100 euros per month. 10,000 yen would be about that, around that. Yes, but it's I think it's also a good system. That's also my experience. And there are good nurses and good doctors. And for women, there are even women clinics specialized in women issues. So it's a very welcoming system, I think so.
Yeah.
And now in your own job, where are you located? I mean, where can people find you and contact you?
Where can I find people?
No, where are you located? I mean, if people reach to Tokyo, how can they reach you?
Okay. So I live in Shinjuku. So have you been to Tokyo?
Yeah.
So kind of Shinjuku is western central. Kind of Tokyo, Marunouchi area is kind of eastern, kind of center. The Shinjuku is in the Yamanote line, like a circle train. So kind of west center is Shinjuku. And I live near Shinjuku, and my church is near Shinjuku, especially near Waseda.
Oh, yeah.
And near Waseda University. The Waseda University is one of the famous kind of university in Japan.
Very good university.
Yes, and more kind of young people, young family.
Yes, and Shinjuku is also a place that people would want to know about because it's the center for transportation. So if they need like the long-term bus for other parts of Japan, is a place to get that bus. It's a
so
very
people
good...
can go kind of to everywhere in Japan, maybe from Shinjuku Station.
Yeah, exactly. So for the travelers, it's a must-know point.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for meeting us today. Would you like to add something to this message? Because I plan to put this on YouTube so people can find you once they reach Tokyo. Would you like to add something?
Okay, so you kind of sound, so you're in Portugal?
I am in Portugal right now, so it's 8 in the morning.
I see. So I don't know how many people want to come to Japan. So the people want to come to Japan in Portugal?
Yes, they do. So I'll explain a little bit about the situation around here. So in April 2020, of course, when the borders were closed, a lot of students that were already planning to go to Japan were not able to go. So mostly from Portugal, you have two kinds of people who want to go to Japan. The students, and they are usually undergraduate, or maybe they are doing a master's or a PhD, but they have a plan about going to Japan and learn Japanese, and sometimes learn their particular skill, like architect or medicine or whatever they are studying. Those are the group of students. And then you have the group of visitors and tourists and people who want to do cultural tours in Japan. So for the tourists, we already know that we will have to wait longer for the tourist visa to be open. But for the
So I'm not
students,
sure so that when can tourists can enter Japan.
yeah, me neither.
Hopefully this summer. Yeah.
I hope so. I've been helping people who want to plan their travel to Japan, and people have had to postpone it several times. And now they're aiming to go to see the Momiji in autumn. So maybe it will open. We are not sure yet. But for the students, it has been harder because the students have a very limited time for this experience. Because they're doing college, so they only have 3 years or 4 years. So when they are about to finish college and they still don't know if they can do a semester abroad or a year abroad. So I think the situation is more urgent for the students, actually. Although Portugal is a small country, but there is a very significant community, a very large community of people who really love Japanese culture and learn about Japan. So that's why they want to go at least for a short period of time.
So anyway, from March, kind of border opens for foreigners. I think so. The government kind of Japanese schools are accepting more foreign students from April, because April is kind of new semester. So now kind of the Japanese schools are preparing to accept so the more foreign students.
Yes, they need to apply for the visa.
So hopefully so that I can meet kind of them in April. So then so that we are willing to welcome kind of foreigners to live in Japan kind of more comfortably.
I strongly advise people who are watching this video on YouTube to find a contact in Japan, like Mr. Ogura or someone else, to help you find a house and to get health insurance and to find a part-time job, because it makes a real difference not to be alone and to have someone to talk to and to get into a community and have this sense of belonging to a community. It makes a real difference in your life.
Yeah, but actually, so not kind of 100% kind of confident to kind of offer kind of house or kind of job. But anyway, kind of now we're teaching Japanese for free. So that you can study Japanese kind of for free kind of in my community in church.
Yes,
and so giving any kind of necessary information.
Yes, and people will not be alone. They will meet other people and practice their Japanese. So that's also, I would say, a mental health, a supportive system, which is important once they are moving countries.
Yeah, especially foreign countries that people need community.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I hope that I will keep in touch with you. And if I know about someone that are about to travel to Tokyo, I will get you in touch with each other.
Hi.
And thank you so much for this time. I know you're busy, but I hope your weekend goes very well because
you're welcome.
Yeah, it's the end of the day in Japan.
Hi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and see you soon. For everyone watching this video, you can contact Mr. Ogura. I will link at least your Facebook page in the description of the video, so people can find you on Facebook at least.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye. Bye-bye.